welcome inside Schneider Arena. It's game 2 of the weekend between Providence and Maine. I'm Mike Logan along with Mike Mancuso. Let's take a look at the highlights from last night. Friars started early with a pair of goals in the first period. First, Logan Sawyer with his 7th of the year. Then would be Hudson Malinowski with the first of 3 power play goals. Fauchon with his 5th power play goal. And then this penalty against Chabrier on the knee. It was a 5-minute major, led to this power play goal by McQueen, his 3rd of the year. Brandon Holt would get Maine on the board with a power play marker, and then McQueen went into scoring with a beautiful shot here to beat Rousseau, and it was a 6-1 final for Providence College. There's Ben Barr, the head coach of the Maine Black Bears, former Friar assistant. And on the other bench, Friar head coach Nate Lehman. That is Joel Beal to his left. And Mike, can the Friars follow it up? Well, first we'll look at the goaltenders. Mathis Rousseau, he came in relief last night for Maine. You see his numbers. And at the other end, another freshman, Jack Parsons, getting his 2nd win of the season. And again, Mike, question tonight, can the Friars follow up a good Friday night with another good performance on Saturday?
Yeah, and can they finally beat a team twice in one season? Something they haven't done yet in the 25-26 campaign. Again, a very good showing last night, but could they put 2 back-to-back games together? That's the big question for Nate Lehman and his side tonight.
So it'll be Kivioya's line against Komarov, Giroir, and Pichette for Maine. I thought Maine last night, Mike, really controlled the first 8 to 10 minutes of the game. After the game, Nate Lehman said he felt that the Friars were tentative, but getting those 2 goals certainly helped.
Yeah, once they scored those goals, they really seemed to be on the right path. And, you know, Maine just didn't have that offensive punch that we've been used to seeing so far this season, especially last weekend out in Denver.
And that puck winds up on the bench. So we get our first whistle just 17 seconds into this one. Black Bears came in riding a 5-game unbeaten streak prior to the Friar win last night.
And of course, the Friars now, put together a pretty good stretch of hockey that went before the break as well. Obviously, they had the little hiccup last weekend in the 2nd game against Alaska Fairbanks, but hoping to put that one far in the rearview mirror.
I get 2 good face-off teams tonight. Providence 2nd in the league. Maine is 3rd in face-off percentage. Here's the Friars' 4th line. With a little zone time here in the opening minute. Kivioya turns, stick save Rousseau. He was good last night as he came in relief. Here's a drive and another save by Rousseau on Centrella.
Yeah, last night, Boya got the start, but 3 goals allowed and only 5 saves in about 25 minutes. He got pulled, and Rousseau had to come in on relief.
Here's Tanner Adams. Friars look to slide it out of the zone. Malinowski. We got goal number 5 last night. Elger. Will had a good night with a couple of assists. He's still trying to snap a scoreless string, now at 13 games without a goal. Good steal by Elger, gets the shot away. Rousseau another stick save. So last night Maine was the quick starter. Tonight Providence, the first 3 shots on goal, a big hit right in front of the Friar bench. Only change in the lineup for the Friars, no Massa, Rybakov in on the back end. Here's McQueen. Rogers got 7 points in his last 4 games. Had his 2nd multi-goal game last night. Here's Sumpf. Julius had a career-high 3 assists last night. Drive by Machu is knocked down, never made it on net, loose puck. And the Black Bears able to clear.
Good early pressure, though, by the Friars. Some good O-zone possession time in the first 2 minutes of this one as they try to get on the board again first here tonight.
Friars tip it deep. Fauchon against Chabrier. Chabrier is the one that had the short night last night, the kneeing penalty, the 5-minute major. Gamache, nice play coming out of the corner for the Friars. Sawyer, now Mustard on the ice. Nice play, McCollum Get it on the forehand. Lipinski, the all-freshman line out there for Maine. Nice little shot in the bat there by Chabrier, not called. And a centering feed for Gamache. 13 power plays last night. That shot stick to side. These two teams, Mike, have given their opponents most power plays in Hockey East. Maine has allowed 88 opposition power plays. The Friars, along with UMass Lowell, have given up 78.
Yeah, the Friars power play on fire last night. 4 for 7, much better than the 1 for 9 performance in that second game against Alaska.
There's a lot of attention on that, but power play's been good this year. They have power play goals in 14 of their 19 games. And they are 6 for their last 22. As that puck sent the length of the ice. And that is going to be an icing against the Friars.
Just getting over that red line in the end. Brendan Holt was in the vicinity, but waited for it to cross over. It'll be sent down to the other end. But yeah, going back to the power play numbers, Mike, you're right. Overall on the season, the Friars at 25%, second best in Hockey East, 9th best in the nation. And, I think it was just maybe some of the frustration for Coach Lehman last week in that 1 for 9 performance in that second game against Alaska Fairbanks. But in the end, he knows that wasn't good enough. Last night, they surely came to play with the extra man.
Shot here, blocked. This Maine team has scored the most goals of anybody in Hockey East with 81 on the year. And during that 5-game unbeaten streak, they were averaging 5 goals a game. Nice stick by Manti, and then he loses it. Like a piece of somebody's tape came off in the Friar end. This is Frank Jurasevich. Transfer from Merrimack. A tough break last night. McQueen's first power play goal wound up going in off of his skate. Elger broken up. Sully Sholey on it for the Black Bears. Now the Friars intercept. Stolen. Nice job by Sholey. Offensive end. Pushed toward the board by Rybakov. Mentioned Alex not in the lineup last night. And Elger able to swing it into the Black Bears zone. Holt. It's a ton of ice time for the Black Bears. McQueen battling down low, but Holt takes it away and is able to spin it back into the Friar end. That's going to go as an icing. Well, after a game like last night, and you look at the final score and it's 6-1, but if you watch the game, it didn't have that feel for a long time, and you certainly expect tonight to be a lot tighter, a lot more of a defensive battle.
Yeah, and you just wonder, how the effect of all those hits from last night. It was a very physical game out there. Second night, traditionally a little bit tougher than the first night in the weekend series. Teams a little bit more familiar with themselves, so we'll see how that plays into this one as it continues along. But already we've had, I feel like, more icings in the first 5 minutes than we did almost the whole game last night.
Well, 13 of the last 19 between these two teams have been decided by 1 goal. And prior to the Providence win last night, Maine had gone 4-1-1 against the Friars in their last 6. The Friar win was in overtime up at the Alphon, as Guillaume Richard had the game winner a couple of years ago. Last year, the Black Bears came in here, tied the first game, took the extra point in the shootout, and Taylor McCarr scored in overtime. A 1-0 Black Bear win. Chabrier bothered in deep. Friars keep the puck in. McQueen battling a couple of Black Bears. Usero sends it away to Thomas Friel. Friel now Nadeau. Goes across, hopped over the stick of Usero. Nadeau now a junior, averaging almost a point a game. Good stick by Gamache. And the Friars just knock it out of the air and out of the zone.
Yeah, nice clearance there by Logan Sawyer, getting all of that with the baseball swing, sending it down into the main zone.
Jurasevich. Pass stolen by Mustard. And John heads up ice. He assisted on the Sawyer goal last night. Both Mustard and Sawyer with 16 points on the year. Friars have 6 players, Mike, in double digits. 3 freshmen and 3 sophomores.
Yeah, and after, a somewhat slow start in terms of points for Roger McQueen, now leading the team, 8 goals, 10 assists for him. after the 2 goals last night.
And McQueen quietly a point of game. Here's a drive by Kivioi, and it's pushed just wide. As Alexi made a strong move coming down the slot. Back to the point, Machu's drive. Deflected wide, Bales. On the puck for the Friars, trying to center. Jelsma covers him at the point. Poirier slides it up the wall. Friars keep in. Kivioi comes around now to Jelsma. And that puck cleared out of the zone, and that will go as another icing against Maine.
Another strong shift, though, by what's on paper the Friars' 4th line, Jelsma, Kivioi, and Levens. But, not really a 4th line in the traditional style that doesn't get rolled out a lot. They have been a very influential line for the Friars this season. Coach Lehman talking about it on his coach's show this week says, they all buy in, and it's successful because they play hard, heavy, in a simple style. And that's yielded a lot of points as well. They've been getting the starting nod now in every game just because of that energy and that tenacity they bring. And coaches on this staff also talking about just the execution level of this 4th line.
Black Bears did a great job in the face-off circle last night as that puck winds up on the Maine bench.
Nice grab there on the bench by one of the Maine coaches, tossing into the stands to a lucky fan.
We'll take a break. Scoreless in Providence on a Saturday night. Schneider Arena, scoreless early here in period number 1. We are one of 4 league games tonight. Northeastern is up at Vermont. Catamounts won game 1 last night. You have UConn at UMass Lowell. Riverhawks, good win on the road last night. And you get UMass at BU. Terriers with a 1-0 victory out in Amherst last night. 1+ for Providence, Mike. They have not played a ton of league games tonight, just their 10th. They have 3 games in hand on the Black Bears, on BU and on UConn. That's why tonight, from a Providence standpoint, very important. Get some points out of this. You will get a little more distance between yourself and Maine, and also have games in hand.
Yeah, and even, playing a couple less games, still in 4th place right now on 17 points, just a couple of points behind 3 teams in front of them.
And of course, tough January will continue next weekend. Home and home with BC, then a home and home with BU. And then they'll travel up to the Alfond Arena on the final day of January to end the month. Meanwhile, Maine, they'll be on the road again next week with a pair at UMass Lowell. Coming into last night, they were going to play 8 of their final 13 on the road, although the 2 against Northeastern, not really road games. One of those games going to be in Portland, Maine, and the other one going to be in Lowell.
Of course, Northeastern will be on the road perpetually, it'll feel like, for the next almost 2 years after the renovations will be completed where Matthews Arena currently is.
Well, we talked about it last week when they went to Army, starting a string of at least 99 games without a true home game. Friars intercept. McQueen unable to get it in deep. Charlie Russell, strong play, and now McQueen with numbers over the line, but a good poke check. And the puck swung to the neutral zone. Jurasevich goes around to Langlois, and the Black Bears look to break out. Pass knocked away from Russell. Of course, Charlie, the son of former Friar assistant Jamie Russell. Jamie is coaching this year over in Scotland. Sawyer, little running room, tries to go 1-on-4 though, unsuccessfully. And now Maine will slide it in. Black Bears yet to have a shot on goal. Last night, Mike, they had, 4 or 5 in the opening 10 minutes.
Yeah, they came out like gangbusters in the first couple of minutes, really putting a lot of pressure on the Friars, but Jack Parsons and company holding firm in the opening of that first.
This is Peterson, freshman defender for the Black Bears. Slides it ahead, Holt, stood up by Bales, kept in by Maine, shot blocked. Friars with numbers up ice. Here's Manti at a goal last night to Mustard. But Maine doing a good job getting back. and collapsing on the puck carry.
Passed a little bit behind Mustard that time, made things a little bit more difficult, gave Maine a chance to catch up.
Mentioned that there were 13 power plays last night. It was interesting, Mike, around the league, UConn and Lowell, there were 9. And then in the other 2 Hockey East games, there were only 2 power plays, in the BU UMass game and in the Northeastern Vermont game.
It'll be interesting to see if both teams kind of clean it up a little bit here tonight. Obviously, the Friars with 7 opportunities last night on the power play, Maine with 6.
The same officiating crew tonight. Blocker saved there by Parsons. Jim Curtin, Terrence Murphy are the referees. Jurasevich shot through a screen as the net gets knocked off, as Rybakov gave Marcus a shot into the net.
Yeah, and you just get the sense early on here tonight, both teams playing a little bit more tentative, a little bit more careful. We haven't seen a lot of the big hits out there, none of the kind of chippiness yet, and I say yet because I fully expect this one to get a little bit more intense and see that spice level increase as it goes on this evening. Look here at that last play. You're going to see 2 players on the back end. Rybakov kind of nudging one of the Black Bears into that post.
Well, it was nice to see Jack Parsons get his first win here at Schneider last night.
Yeah, it was very close to getting a shutout as well. It took a 5-on-3 power play goal to be the only tally for the Black Bears last night.
Parsons has given up 8 goals on the year, as that's offside, but only 2 of them have come even strength. He's given up 4 in the power play, 2 shorthanded, another break on the ice. We are scoreless midway through the first in Providence. And now they're going to turn the light up.
They had the light on, now they put it back off. And it looks like they're going to have a face-off deep in that main zone. A little bit of confusion there at the table at ice level. I'm not sure if they're going to be looking at something as well. Not sure if it's a timing issue or a play they need to review, but one of the officials inside the box down there at ice level.
My guess is they're looking at the time, as it was over. They were over 9 minutes, and now as you see the clock on the screen, 8:58. And while they look at that, it's nice getting a chance to catch up with former Friar Rick Bennett in his first year as an assistant at the University of Maine. Of course, Rick started his coaching career here at Providence under Paul Pooley, won a national title at Union. He was a Obie Baker finalist for the Friars in '90. Great player.
Officials' review was to determine the correct time on the ice. The clock is being reset to 9:21.
So they've determined that the clock needed to be reset to 9:21. As you were right, a couple seconds were bleeding off after that last stoppage on the ice.
There's Rick Bennett. Mentioned he started his coaching career, spent 5 years under Paul Pooley here in Providence. Ended up going to Union to work with both Nate Lehman and Ben Barr. Spent last year at Quinnipiac. Had some professional coaching experience as well in the ECHL. As the Black Bears swinging out of the zone. Friars have done a better job tonight, slowing them down coming through center ice. And the Friars, one thing Nate Lehman talked about after the game, Mike, was he felt that they held on to too many pucks early on. And tonight, Friars a lot quicker, getting pucks off their stick as McCollum almost turns it over. That's a delayed offside. Black Bears clear the zone. And here's Julius Sumpf. Good coverage, though, by the Black Bears. Sumpf is back to McCollum. Fires down low. Fauchon couldn't handle, but McQueen will get to it. Surely on him. Now Sumpf. This line was good last night. They've been good since they've been put together. Fauchon, a shot, save, rebound, a save by Rousseau as McQueen followed it up. Column in deep. Sumpf banging with his man. Fauchon there. Played around. Russell trying to knock it out of the zone. Providence keeps it in. Good shift at this top line. O'Shawn trying to work through a check. That's knocked down. McQueen over there. O'Shawn back to his feet. Played up the wall. McCollum. Russell on him. Cale able to work through a check. Now Logan Sawyer on the ice. Logan looking for some space. Redirected. Nice save, Rousseau. Got the block around it. Probably Providence's best shift. Now they work it down low. Another save, Rousseau. It's not big at 5'11", but able to get in front of that one. McQueen, he's at the end of the shift. Gets it deep and heads to the bench. Mustard tied up in the corner, trying to kick it free to Gamache. Now Logan Sawyer taken to the wall. Friars deflect the puck up onto the Maine bench. Well, Mike, that was their best zone time here tonight. Is now we'll take a timeout on the ice. 7:08 to go. Scoreless first period in Providence. And welcome back to Schneider Arena. Scoreless first period. But much better start here tonight, Mike, even though the Friars haven't scored than we saw last night.
Yeah, 9-2 advantage already in the shots on goal, and that last possession was well over about a minute and a half in the offensive zone. Friars were able to change on the fly, keep the pressure on, generate a couple of good chances, but really the story so far for Maine has to be Matthias Rousseau stepping in for Albin Boya tonight, as Rousseau getting the starting nod. He came in relief last night, just before the halfway point of the game, but really, he has been sharp early on. You can feel that confidence building for him as this one has gone on, too, the way he's been making some of these saves.
Saw Nate Lehman on the left there, Ben Barr on the right. Of course, Ben came over with Nate from Union. They helped really build that program, a program that wound up winning a national title, and Ben did a real nice job as the puck winds up in the crowd. Did a real nice job along with Jamie Russell and recruiting and really building those first several teams. Ben left, went out to Western Michigan, worked for Andy Murray, and then, of course, was part of the UMass staff that won the national title. Got the Black Bears back to the national tournament. And per usual, Mike, you look around, a lot of Maine jerseys on the road. Probably of the 11 Hockey East schools, I don't think anybody travels as well as Maine.
Yeah, I always feel like they almost got at least one, if not two busloads of fans that make the trip on down, and certainly a ton of blue here in the stands tonight.
Black Bears get the puck in deep. They'll work it along the boards. Thomas Friel, one of the captains, bumped off the puck by Ma Chu. Centering feed and fanning on the shot there. Nadeau looked like it hit off heel of his stick. Mustard. Nice stick to keep the puck in. Gets to Sawyer now. Logan comes out high, but too far, and Rybakov will have to regroup. And there's a bad pass. Nadeau with the steal makes the move to the net. Couldn't get the shot as he couldn't control the puck.
Yeah, Friars got to be careful of some of those turnovers in the neutral zone. Don't want to give Maine short ice too many times.
Here's Poirier. He's got 17 goals on the year. 7 of those coming on the power play. Black Bears try to get it to the front of the net, knocked away. Friars had 23 blocks last night. That is the most by a Providence team since they blocked 24 shots against UMass Lowell back in February of 2022.
Of course, when you got to kill off 6 penalties, get a lot of opportunities to block shots.
Right in front, shot, but knocked away. Kivioya trying to keep the puck in, but Maine will move it out now. Jurasevich. We're inside 5.5 minutes to go. Not a lot of whistles, no penalties yet. Pretty quick moving first period. McCollum fires it ahead to Elger, but Will unable to get a piece of that, so that'll be an icing against Providence.
Yeah, he was just on the wrong side of center ice as he got the deflection into the zone. I'll bring it down to the other end, but Maine, the shots just haven't been coming yet. We mentioned just the 2 shots on goal, only 5 total shots. As possession has been heavily in favor of the Friars. They've been the aggressors. They've had the puck probably about 75% of this one early on. Face-offs, though, even at 5 apiece right now. Last night, Maine getting the better of the Friars on the dots. They won 33 out of 61.
Shot goes wide, even though Providence scored 3 power play goals after the game. Nate Lehman not thrilled, didn't think they did a good job in the face-off dot on their power plays. Friars, Roger McQueen coming in tonight. He's been involved in 363 face-offs. He's averaging about 19 face-offs a game.
Yeah, and winning at a 57% rate as well. The team overall at about 53% on the season.
Here's Elger, strong play down the boards. He set up the first power play goal last night. Puck in front, Malinowski couldn't get to it. And the Black Bears, three-man rush up the ice. Komarov swings it. Giroir broken up and now man-tied. They'll tip it into the main zone. Black Bears back there though to defend. Both teams not allowing many odd man rushes. Now Holt drops for Sholey, a shot saved by Parsons. Loose puck. And Holt fans on it. Tried the turnaround. Malinowski broken up. Good back check by the Black Bears. Dip inside, 4 minutes to go, first period. Fauchon now to Julius Sump. Julius throws it back on the forehand, out high. A one-timer goes wide. Rybakov lets that go, and again, wide of the net into the corner. Fowler, transfer from UMass Lowell. Black Bears move it out, puck hit escape. McQueen, good job by Fauchon staying on side. Jonathan's got the puck. Comes out high, but stolen by Fowler. Three-man rush for the Black Bears the other way. Here's Russell. Charlie Russell to the middle, a shot up, knocked away, and Parsons made a nice save. Lost the stick, but held that near post.
Really good chance there for Peterson, just couldn't slide it home.
Tied up right in front of the Providence bench. Good poke check as McCoy knocked it away from Russell. Sawyer, offensive end, throws down low looking for Mustard. And the puck comes back to the neutral zone to Centrella. Gets it back now from McCoy. Gamache will slide it in deep. Graham had a pair of assists last night as well. A lot of Friars getting on the score chart.
13 different Friars to the point last night in the 6-1 win.
Over the line, that shot blocked. Matt Scott gets nailed into the end board. Scott, here's a steal and a shot up over the net. As Scott got buried down low. Meanwhile, Friel took the puck away and had a great chance for Maine. Scott played a couple of years over at Brown. Puck push free, but Maine will get to it first. Friel. He's taken hard to the boards by Donovan McCoy. And the Black Bears unable to keep it in. Well, Maine will change things up with a minute 50 remaining in this first period. Here's Jelsma, unable to get the puck in cleanly.
Slight miscommunication there with Kibioya as the two collided.
Kibioya able to keep the puck in for a moment. Manti throws toward the net. Usero able to deflect it wide, centering feed. Hopped over his stick. Jelsma sends it right up the slot. McCollum gets a shot off. Loose puck. Another save. Russo as Levens had an opportunity, then got knocked down. Friars with a dozen shots, but Matis Russo has been real good so far. Mentioned last night, he made some key saves coming in. Friars move it out. Malinowski 1-on-2. Hudson stops, looks for some help. Goes down low to Elger. Final minute of the period. Will tried to center it, came off the back of the cage. Holt will get the red line, send it in. Parsons out of his net. On the near side looking for Adams. Centering feed, and again the Friars have a good defensive stick. Long clear, trying to get over the line. Elger a shot, and a save by Rousseau. And we get a whistle. It'll be a hand pass.
Wow, what hand-eye coordination, though, by Will Elger. Able to knock that one down, the pass in the air about hip level. Controlled it as he entered the zone. Watch, the pass is going to come up a little high, took a deflection, knocks it down, and this shot not missing by much. So maybe got a piece of it. good bid for the Friars late in this first period.
The time just 23 seconds remaining. The Queens line out there against Komarov's line.
Strangely enough, this is only the second faceoff McQueen's taken tonight. He did lose it earlier.
He will go against the sophomore Komarov out of Finland. And Providence wins it to the middle. Fauchon, a shot up over the net. Centrella, wraparound attempt, knocked away and cleared. And we are inside the final 10 seconds of period number 1. McQueen will throw it in deep. Kurasevich back on it. And that's going to do it for the opening 20 minutes. So, much better start tonight for Providence. Last night they were leading 2-0 after 1. They have outshot the Black Bears tonight in the first. But at the end of 20, Mike, no score. But certainly a good start to this game for Providence.
Yeah, a clean game as well. No penalties taken. Friars getting the majority of the chances in that first period. Came close a couple of times, even on the faceoffs as well. So overall, a good 20 minutes for Providence.
We will take a break. Back with our first intermission after this. You're watching Hockey East on ESPN+. Two Schneiderina scoreless between Providence and Maine. Joined downstairs by one of the Friar captains, Graham Gamache. Graham, I thought that was a better first period than we saw last night. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think we knew they were going to come hard, so we had to battle in those first 10. That's when we don't want to let them get going, and I think we did that to the T.
Graham, obviously some good ozone time in that first period. You wound up outshooting them 13-4, had a lot of good chances. What do you guys need to do in the second period to kind of keep control of this game?
Yeah, it was part of our game plan, get pucks low. Last night when we got pucks low, we got our shots. So we're getting it low, staying heavy over it, and getting pucks on net and crashing.
How much has it been, or how good has it been to be back with Mustard and Sawyer? I know Coach moved the lines around, but, you know, first half, you three were really good together.
Yeah, I think we play really well off each other. I think we all skate well, so we just get up in the rush together and keep it pretty positive on the bench, so it's been fun.
All right, well, best of luck final 40 minutes, Graham.
Thank you very much.
That is one of the Friar captains, Graham Gamache. We are scoreless at the end of 20. Take a break, back to Schneider Arena with more after this.
It's time now for Coffee with Coach, presented by Duncan. Joining alongside me, as he is every week, is the head coach of the Providence College men's hockey team, Coach Lehman. Coach, this past weekend you play Alaska. You split the series. What were your big takeaways from the series?
I was really disappointed. You know, I'm not gonna, you know, I'll cut right to the. We weren't good enough. You know, I thought only having played one game in 4 weeks. You know, I thought we were practicing the right things. I thought, you know, we were focusing on the right things, but we went out there and we didn't have the game execution and game intensity that we needed. I thought we actually, Friday I thought we were really bad, but we scored. Saturday I thought we were much better, and we didn't score. Obviously have to be better than 1 for 9 on the power play. So, you know, it's really disappointing. I thought we were set up in a pretty good position there, and now we got to get back to work. We got to get our edge back, which I've liked our last 2 practices. But it's a tough learning experience for our group.
Well, one of the bright spots you keyed in on after the weekend series, you talked about the fourth line. What really stood out about them?
They execute. And they play hard every shift. I mean, those guys, they play hard every shift. I think they play an honest game. They play a 200-foot game. They've given us energy. And I talked to the team a couple times. We don't call them the fourth line because they're far more productive than any fourth line that I've ever had. And they've been probably one of our most consistent lines. So, you know, we don't really label lines 1 through 4. But, you know, those, you know, Kivy and Clint and Bo, they go out, they play hard hockey, they play good hockey, and they give us a lot of momentum every time they're on the ice.
Now coming to town this weekend is a Maine Black Bears team that just had a successful series out in Denver, a win and a tie out there. What have you seen from the Black Bears, Coach?
Same. They're always going to get pucks behind you and try to forecheck you. Very good power play. We have to be smart, stay out of the penalty box, which we've done a pretty good job in the second half here. And obviously we just, I'm far less focused about Maine than I am our group right now. We got to make sure we're playing good hockey.
Sure enough, and it all starts Friday night at 7 p.m. on NESN and ESPN+, Saturday night at 6 p.m. Tickets are still available. Coach, thank you so much. Best of luck.
Thanks, Dick.
Welcome back to Schneider Arena, scoreless after one. And Mike, as we take a look at the highlights, Friars carried the play, but good opportunities for both sides.
Yeah, they certainly did. They wound up out-shooting Maine 13-4, but that means there was some good goaltending on the other end for Matis Rousseau of the Black Bears. Came up time and time again as the Friars peppered him early and often. So the young man getting the start tonight, making the most of his opportunity. Parsons wasn't called upon to do too much, but did come up in the clutch a few times for the Friars. This is probably the best of the bunch for Rousseau, able to stone the rebound attempt for Roger McQueen as he was sliding from his left to right there to keep the puck out of the net. The Friars would keep the pressure on. McQueen dishing it out wide, and another good one there from Rousseau. Maine would get a couple of chances, but Jack Parsons up to the task there. Again, Providence late in the period, trying to force the action, getting some bodies in front of the net. We got the hand-eye coordination there by Will Elger, able to keep it under control and get a good shot off, but in the end, Rousseau, too much, as he has been a brick wall for the Maine Black Bears. Look through the first period, the numbers that matter. Total shots, Friars have Maine doubled up. Shots on goal, they have them more than tripled up. No power plays yet for either side, and the faceoffs even at 6 apiece.
Mentioned this is one of 4 league games going on today, and Nespercil has the only goal in that BU-UMass game. Northeastern Vermont and UMass Lowell Yukon will get underway in a little bit, as will Merrimack at Holy Cross.
And of course, that would be a big feather in the cap for UMass if they could hold on against BU tonight. Obviously a long way to go. That one just starting off the second period as well.
So Kiviora against Komarov. Couple of natives of Finland. And Alexei gets booted from the draw. The puck down. Second period underway as Holt will spin one in. Centrella unable to cleanly move it out. And Komarov gets to that loose puck. Interesting, though, that as Holt couldn't keep in, with the same crew, Mike, to not have any penalties called in the first period.
Well,
go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, just, we've seen, a little bit of the physicality we saw last night, but certainly haven't seen the chippiness that we saw. We haven't seen any of the extras after the whistle, anything like that. None of those really big crunching hits either yet, but I still wouldn't be surprised if this one picks up as it goes on.
Well, Parsons a save there. Good opening shift by Maine.
Yeah, again, last night Maine got off to a really good start, really put the pressure on the Friars early, but once Providence got their first goal, turned into a second, and they never really looked back. Again, the penalties became an issue for both sides, as Maine taking 7 penalties over the course of the night. Of course, the big one, Chabrier picking up the 5-minute major and a game misconduct for the kneeing penalty on Elger. Fortunately for Providence, Elger was able to walk away from it.
Malinowski a win. Hudson came in, winning 56% of his face-offs. Adams got a hit, lost his stick. Scholey on the loose puck in behind his net. Opening minute of the second, still looking for the game's first goal. Adams, a steal, but unable to connect with Malinowski. Fowler flips it in. Parsons will glove and leave for McCollum. Kale slides it ahead, and the Friars 3-man rush, but good job by Fowler on the back check. Elger. Malinowski in there with a couple of Black Bears. Slides free, and Langlois has it for Maine. So Charlie Russell will backhand it in, knocked away. McQueen plays it ahead.
Yeah, stick looked to have come up high on the head of Russell. He went down in a heap. Wonder if they'll take a look at that one at the next opportunity, or if Maine will call for a review.
They're going to retrieve Charlie Russell's stick, bring it over to the bench. See Ben Barr talking to one of the referees.
He was.
Maine is challenging for a major penalty on the prior play. The play is under review.
Yeah, so they wanted to make sure that they did want to take a look at that, and indeed, as expected, they will.
Well, note to the music man, when they're trying to make the announcement, you might want to turn the music down a little bit so we can hear what's going on. And so this could lead to our first penalty of the game. Certainly came up. Can't tell if it's the shoulder or the elbow that comes up on Russell. Maybe it's Bales in question.
Looked like
Wasn't
the
an
shoulder.
elbow. Yeah, it wasn't an elbow. You had two guys who were around the same size. Russell goes 5'11", Bales 5'9". So Curtin and Murphy, that was a quick look, and I'm going to guess nothing's going to come of it.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is, they didn't see anything in live action.
After review, there's no major penalty on the play. Maine has lost their timeout.
And kind of, as you said, Mike, nothing there to call.
Sump will take the face-off. Julius on the year, winning 59% of his draws. All three freshmen, McQueen, Sump, and Jelsma, have been excellent in the face-off dot. All at 57% or more, as Parsons will stick that one out of play.
Yeah, and that's obviously been huge for the Friars. Obviously, when more face-offs get more possessions, leads to more shots as well. And to have your first years doing it, what a bonus for Nate Lehman and his side.
Well, we talked to Bo Jelsma, one of the early coaches, Shell, and I asked him, because all three guys come out of the CHL, if there is that much more emphasis on, the little parts of the game, things like face-offs. And, Bo talked about that he really puts a lot of time in, trying to study what his opposition does when it comes to the face-off.
Yeah, there's certainly an art to it. It's not as easy as just, you sit in there on the dot and whack away at it. No, it's timing. It's trying to throw off your opponent. All that is now a little bit extra after the whistle that time, as these two longtime rivals mix it up after the save made by Parsons.
Oh, and of course, it isn't always just the guy taking the face-off. You need your wingers. Mentioned tonight, game 143 all time between the two schools. Friars have won 62, Maine's won 71. There have been 8 ties. Started playing when Maine went to Division I in 1980. Friars won the first 5 games ever between the two schools. But for a number of years, especially under Sean Walsh, Maine dominated this matchup. Friars have had the better of it, though, since Nate Lehman took over 15 years ago. Rybakov tried to send Mustard away, but John had it in his skates. Poirier fires it into the corner. Rybakov on the puck for Providence. Up the wall, stolen by Poirier. Lipinski spins it to Marcus. And McCoy gets that loose puck. We'll just scoop it to the neutral zone, but Maine has it. Now McCoy in his own end. And that's too far for Sawyer, going to be an icing. So certainly a different pacing here tonight, Mike. And again, we expected a lot more of a defensive, low-scoring game.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get up to the 7 goals we saw last night in total, expecting more of a 2-1 or even a 1-0, or who knows, maybe a little bonus hockey as well. But right now, the start of the second period, Maine has controlled a little bit more of the action, generating a little bit more ozone time than they did in the first period, and have already generated a couple of shots as well.
Scott against Gamache on the faceoff. And Maine wins it, but tipped away by Logan Sawyer. Sawyer Gets the puck in the corner and work away from the defender. Gets some help now, McQueen. So you got McQueen out there with Sawyer and Mustard. Centrella. Now McCollum down low, save Russo. Swung wide on the rebound by Mustard. And Centrella will intercept. Myers will deflect in. Russo angles the puck to the corner. McQueen and Jurasevich. Black Bears take it away though, and Scott out of his own zone. Good defense by Providence. Sumpf will get the puck in deep. McQueen against Langlois. For a freshman who played in the CHL last year. Here's Fauchon, a drive. Nice save, Rousseau. Got the right pad on him, and the puck cleared.
Yeah, Rousseau has looked very sharp here tonight. He's been in great positions to make saves, not leaving out any juicy rebounds.
McCollum now to Kivioya. Alexi will shovel it in, give chase. Almost 4 minutes into this second period. Bales keeps it into Kivioya. Jelsma over there to help out. You got 3 Black Bears. Kivioya knocked down. Puck comes to the point. Manti a drive off the glove of Rousseau. Chabrier up the wall. Levens bangs it back in. Another good shift by Kivioya, Jelsma, and Levens. Now it's Malinowski just on the ice. Hudson, he got his 5th last night. 2nd on the power play. Levens. Manti to Bales. Looks for a shooting lane. Shot goes wide. Jelsma. It's been a long shift for Bo. Turns, shoots off the side of the net. Malinowski in the bumper. Adams couldn't handle. Now Manti a drive. And Rousseau the save and holds on, but a good shift by the Friars.
Yeah, best shift of the period for Providence. And again, you mentioned it, that 4th line, Jelsma, Kivioya, and Levens keeping that possession alive. In particular, Clint Levens, a really good shift for him. Kept it on the far side, then came over to the near side to keep it in as well. Kept that puck moving along, resulted in a good opportunity in the end. But again, Rousseau now up to 18 saves on the night.
I thought he looked good last night. I know he gave up 3 goals, but
yeah, well, you know, the power play goal. And the last one from Roger McQueen was just something special. I mean, that was just a heck of a play by the talented freshman.
Played around, well, you know, 6-1 final. Well offside there is Adams. Might be an intentional offside.
A little bit surprised that he played that puck. He was well deep in the zone, and that was coming from the other side of center ice.
You know, you looked at last night. Providence was up 3-0. They had that 5-minute major and then a 2-man advantage. If they don't score on that, when you consider that Maine had a 2-man advantage to start the third, you know, if Maine had got one there, it gets very interesting.
Yeah, it certainly was kind of a big turning point in the game, but the Friars did come through with that 5-minute major power play goal. And even they had the 5-on-3 for a little bit there. They didn't score the 5-on-3, but they did get it the 5-on-4.
Malinowski and Sholey. Russell, nice job working through a couple of players to get that puck in the corner. Up the boards, Elger combining with Rybakov. He's tied up with Fowler. Poke free. Good board battle here. And the Friars roll it ahead, and then Elger plays it into the offensive end. Tanner Adams. And by his lonesome, now helped out by Elger. Will had a couple of assists in last night's game. Adams back to the point to Centrella. Shot is blocked out high, and Fowler starts a rush for Maine. Over the line, he's got Peterson with him. Friars lost a stick. That's Tanner Adams able to pull it out of the crease.
They got into a dangerous spot there. That loose stick trickled all the way down between the legs of Parsons.
McCoy against Marcus. Back now to Centrella. And he will send it the length of the ice. That'll be an icing.
The team still trying to figure things out here in terms of continuity in this second period. The shots now 18-7 in favor of the Friars. But we've seen a little bit more pressure out of Maine here in the second. Again, one guy that's been fairly quiet so far this weekend, Justin Poirier. National Co-Forward of the Month for December. He's in number 1 in the Hockey East and power play goals, but hasn't had any opportunities yet tonight.
Elger gets it in the zone, but again, Maine doing a good job collapsing. Not a lot of room through the center ice area. Centrella with McCoy. Mustard over to help out, kept in Langlois. His shot blocked right in front, shot and a save. Parsons on Lipinski. Poirier on the puck, and Centrella able to get it out of there. Here's Gamache, and that's offside as Sawyer was in ahead.
Yeah, that last little deke there by Gamache put Sawyer offside.
We will head to our first break of the second, still scoreless in Providence. 18:30 to go, second period, still scoreless. It's been a good weekend so far for Jack Parsons. Of course, Phillips fed back injured a week ago tonight. He's going to be on the shelf for a little while. Friars are going to bring in a new goaltender. It'll be announced on Monday. But Dave Lehman had said, coming into the weekend, Mike, let's survive this weekend with the two goaltenders, Aaron Matthews, the freshman out of Newton, Mass, the backup, and, kind of reset things. The hope is that Big Phil will be back before the end of the year.
Well, the one thing you talked about Jack Parsons, that he's been doing kind of extra sessions all along throughout the season, so he's been ready for his moment. Well, now he's getting that opportunity. He came up big last night, allowing just the one power play goal, and so far pitching a shutout here this evening.
Well, he did get his first collegiate win in the first game he played. That was in relief on the second game out at St. Thomas. Came in, the only goal he gave up was shorthanded, and he actually wasn't even in the net. It was behind the net as he went behind the net to play it, and Tommy stole the puck, swung it around into the open net. Jack also started second game against UMass Lowell at the Songas Center. Centering feed here goes through the legs of Chabrier. Komarov back to collected for the Black Bears. Here's Komarov. Drops it off. Shot goes wide, and the Karam Levins chips ahead, but we get a whistle. I think that got a piece of somebody on the bench. Face-off will stay in the Providence end.
Again, there was a big hit right in front of the Maine bench. Levins involved. No surprise there. But already almost half of this period gone by, and the quality of chances just hasn't really been there for either side so far tonight. There it was, Levins trying to chip that away and caught one of the Black Bears.
Main player lost a stick, broken in the circle. Centering feed knocked up over the net. Pichette battling with Machu. Puck comes free, Jelsma against Chabrier. He's just trying to hammer it up, not out. Chabrier keeps it in, feeds it down low. Right out in front, shot blocked. Another shot handled by Parsons. Mentioned last night, Providence with 23 blocked shots. Most they had in over 3 years. Jelsma, and we got our first penalty. Jelsma's going to get it. Slashing going to be the call. And the Black Bears will get the game's first power play.
When you talk about block shots, that's going to be a factor now, especially on the kill as Jelsma heads.
Providence penalty number 17, 2 minutes for slashing.
And the slash on Bo. Friars will go on the kill, but Friars already 6 blocks tonight as they are helping out their netminder Jack Parsons. But now they really have to dig in here and lock it down on the defensive end. And last night, successfully killing off 5 of the 6 power play chances for Maine. But this is still a Maine team that converts at a 20% rate, 17 of 84 so far on the year. And again, the main man has been Justin Poirier, 7 power play goals on the season.
Sholey's unit will start. Nadeau, he's just under a point a game in his Maine career, now a junior. He's got the puck. Of course, his brother Bradley, they both came to Maine as freshmen. Bradley with the Hurricane, shot and a save. Parsons, and he handles the rebound. Manti tied up with Sholey after Sholey let it go.
And a little bit of extra there after the whistle, but it was a good opportunity from the high slot for Poirier. You can see them trying to tee him up. He's going to let it fly. There's the 93 bang on the quick one-timer. And Parsons up to the task, ready for it.
So a minute 48 to go on the penalty against Jelsma. Julius Sump out there with Will Elger up front. He'll take the face-off.
So 1 for 1 on the dot tonight so far.
No puck drop. Sholey's going to get waved out. So the captain, Thomas Friel, native of Aberdeen, Scotland, in to take it. Still loose in the circle. Friars trying to jam it out of there, and they do.
Good sweeping little play there by Manti to get it up and out of the zone.
Nadeau will leave it for Holt. He had the main power play goal in last night's game. Over the line, Friars collapse, and Sump able to clear it out of the zone. They're still looking for their first shorthanded goal of the year. Poirier off the skate of Holt will give chase against Manti. Machu over there, good stick by Elger. Will clears it up, puck stays in the zone.
Well, that looked out.
And Manti able to clear. Elger, nice steal, good stick work by Will. Now Sump back to Elger, a shot, oh, what a save Rousseau. Glove stop on Sump.
Thought it was finally going to happen for the shorty for the Friars, but Rousseau, a fantastic save.
Here comes Tanner Adams, short-handed. Adams is in, he scores! There's your first shorty of the year. Tanner Adams with the breakaway. 5th of the year for the junior, and it's 1-0 Providence.
Well, it was bound to happen sometime. Friars just missing out on a shorty a couple seconds before. Adams making no mistake and just blasting that one past Rousseau. It all starts with a turnover right at the blue line, and Adams doing the rest. Great finish by the junior out of Northport, New York.
It's great to see the only senior is Fedback not in the game, and I know Nate Lehman's talked about leaning on his juniors, Malinowski, Gamache, Adams, and Levens, along with Centrella on the back end. Unassisted, shorthanded goal by Tanner Adams has given Providence a 1-0 lead. Still 40 seconds remaining on the penalty against Jelsma.
The Friars got to stay locked in here. They got all the excitement after scoring the goal, but Maine still with the man advantage here for another 30 seconds.
Scott drops now for Russell. Offensive end, Marcus, Bales, and Scott tied up along the boards. Puck is loose. McCoy comes to Kivioya, and Alexi will send it all the way down.
Friars have kept in good shape here on the kill. Haven't really allowed any quality chances outside that first one from Poirier.
Here's Peterson with speed. Shot handled by Parsons. Puck is cleared. And the Friars, 1 for 1 on the kill, plus a goal to take the 1-0 lead.
A good save there by Parsons. Almost looked like Maine was going to wrap it around the boards at the last second. They fired it in on net. Caught it with his shoulder.
Down low, center and feed, Chabrier. Good work by Maine right at the end of the power play. McQueen pushes it. Komarov, his 4th line for Maine, has had a good night. And McQueen pushed off the puck by Usero. Loic Usero, one of 3 freshman defenders for Maine. And that puck all the way back into the Providence end. No icing. Jerwa, another freshman. Broken up. Centrella. Fauchon. Black Bears strong on the boards though. Now Manti. Sump. He is nailed. Quick shot. Save Parsons. Jack will cover. Some pushing after the whistle as Jerwa involved with Centrella. And we will head to break. Tanner Adams, shorthanded goal, giving Providence 1-0 lead here in period number 2. Well, the goal not unassisted. They gave Bales and McCoy assists on the shorthanded goal by Tanner Adams. during the break, Mike, they just showed a number of Friar hockey alum that are here. They are in one of the hospitality suites. In that suite also is former voice of the Maine Black Bears, Joe Carr. Joe started doing the games in the mid to late 80s after Gary Thorne left. He got the Mets job. Joe took over. And, of course, he was the TV voice for a number of years. Joe Carr is a Providence alum. He has worked here at Providence College for at least the last decade.
And always great to see the support from all those alums coming back and people associated with the program over years. And really a great crowd on hand here on a Saturday night. Say about almost 85% full, and that's without the students on campus.
Former Friar Brian Burke was here last night. So, face-off coming in the Providence zone. Still a long way to go. Just under 9 minutes remaining in the second. Puck battle. Maine trying to jam it, and Parsons alertly just reached out and covered it up. Tell you, he has looked a lot more comfortable this weekend than he did, and it's always tough, Mike, coming in like he had the last weekend, but you know, he struggled with both goals.
Yeah, it's like I know you always have to be ready for that moment, but sometimes when you're completely not expecting it, there was really no thought that he would be going in to replace Phillip last week, but then, of course, Phillip gets hurt, and it had to be Parsons, and, you know, the way that game was going anyway, it almost didn't matter who you were going to put in. The Friars were just in a little bit of disarray in that second game against Alaska Fairbanks, but you know, so far this weekend, he's looked completely focused, dialed in. Looks like all those extra sessions that he's put in have paid off as he has been in the zone over the first game and a half now.
Gamache and Sholey on the face-off. Sholey broke his stick. Maine keeps in. Here's Jurasevic's shot. Jurasevic's shot is blocked down. Another shot handled by Parsons. And the Friars will flip it out of the zone. No icing as Jurasevic swings it to Langlois. 8.5 minutes to go. Second period. Tanner Adams, 5th of the year. First shorthanded goal by Providence, giving the Friars a 1-0 lead. Black Bears, though, on the rush. Shot goes wide in Providence. Sawyer, headman's now Mustard over the line. John is in. Shot saved Rousseau. It's a combination that scored the first goal of the game last night. Now Fowler back one-on-one with McCoy. Still got a broken stick in the circle. Good play by Malinowski in his own zone to break that up. Swung in by Fowler. Parsons comes over now to Centrella. Andrew playing probably the best hockey of his career with Providence, and this is junior year. Forward to Malinowski. Tipped deep by Adams. Out there with Elger. Adams and Hope. Now Elger is steal, wrapped it in front. And Malinowski couldn't handle. And tied to Centrella. Malinowski tips it ahead. Elger into the shift. He'll stay out there. Flips it on. Rousseau out of his own zone. McCollum. Malinowski giving chase. Black Bears rolling around though. Marcus gets it out to Lipinski. Lipinski, a Calgary draft pick. Marcus, Nashville. And Poirier, Carolina. So that all freshman line out of the CHL. All draft pick. And here comes Tanner Adams once again. Adams gets knocked down. Penalty against Maine. Friars going on the power play. Interference the call against Usero.
Tell you what, Tanner Adams on a heater tonight. Had a great shorthanded goal earlier in this period. Some great
Maine number 16.
There, drawing
2 minutes for
another penalty.
interference.
And the Friars are going to have their second power play, or their first power play chance of the night on what is just the second overall penalty of the game.
Loic Usero goes to the box. You see the penalty there. He just took down Tanner Adams after Adams tried to slide the puck by him. Well, it's an opportunity for the Friars to build on their lead, something they did last night, Mike, when they got their first power play.
Yeah, really did a nice job. 3 for 7 last night. Power play goals from Malinowski, Fauchon, and McQueen.
So, important opening face-off, and Maine wins it, and they clear it all the way down. Parsons will settle now for McCollum. Gamache, Sawyer, McQueen, Mustard, and McCollum, the top unit for Providence. Here's Mustard right through the D's, in and a shot deflects wide, and Maine will get it. Send it back into the Providence end.
Wow, what an entry there by John Mustard. A tough turnover there by Parsons, nearly cost them, but Friars able to turn it up ice.
3-on-2 now. Here's Mustard. He's in, and Rousseau able to gobble that up and hold on.
The top power play unit of the Friars creating some good chances there for John Mustard, but Rousseau up to the task and able to freeze things with 6:21 left here. Here's that last bid from Mustard, trying to catch him on the near pipe, but again, Rousseau dialed in, able to move laterally from his right to left, sealed off the space, came up with a save and froze it up.
Hey, Lehman liked what this unit did last night. Malinowski, Sumpf, Fauchon, Elger, and Centrella.
Yeah, Fauchon's been a beast on the power play. 5 power play goals to lead the Friars. That is second best in Hockey East.
It's a big face-off win. Malinowski tried to go backdoor to Elger. Intercepted, and the Black Bears have 4 shorthanded goals on the year. Russell will just send it back, take some time off the clock as we are at the 6-minute mark of the second period. Shot down, nice save by Parsons. And Fauchon starts the rush for Providence. Jonathan stops, looks for some help. Elger over there. Malinowski as well, but Friars can't keep it in the zone.
Better job here on the kill by Maine tonight so far. Only about 45 seconds remaining in the penalty to Usero.
Centrella will drop Mustard's unit back out there. He tries to send it to McQueen, but Maine able to clear it all the way down. Parsons comes up now to Roger McQueen. Into the zone with Sawyer. Rousseau out of his net. Wraps it around Mustard. Able to knock the puck down. Under 20 seconds remaining on the man advantage. But Black Bears, good job to get the puck and clear it all the way down.
And that'll pretty much do it for this Providence power play.
And that puck winds up on the Friar bench and is out of the box. We should head to a timeout, and we will. Under 5 minutes remaining in the second. Friars on a Tanner Adams shorthanded goal have a 1-0 lead. Providence lead. The question on the scoreboard, the program record for most goals scored in a single season. It's 34. 3 different guys have done that. One of them is Paul Gay. We had him on the coaches show this week. Last guy to do it was Robbie Goodrow. I believe it was his senior year, his junior year. Kurt Kleinendorst, I believe, is the other Friar to score 34 in a season.
On the 1-0 score here. It's a popular one across Hockey East. UMass still a 1-0 lead over BU. UMass Lowell a 1-0 lead over UConn. And both those results, if they hold, would certainly help the Friars.
Well, I know when Providence ended up splitting with UMass Lowell, a lot of people shook their head, but typical Norm Bazin fashion, they're getting better as the year's gone on. They beat Minnesota State last week, played St. Cloud tough in the championship game of the tournament out in California. And they're trying to sweep UConn to start the second half of the year. In Maine, they're headed to the Tsongas Center next week. Here's Peterson. Speedy defenseman. Levens able to keep in for a moment. 4.5 minutes to go. Second period. Adams, shorthanded goal from McCoy. Here's Lipinski over the line. Forced wide. Good job by Kivioya collapsing. On him, knocks him down, and Gelsman will play it in deep. Bales, the defenseman, with Gelsman. Bo able to work it free. Now Peterson. Nifty work in behind his net. And he'll dump back into the Friar end. That's going to be an icing.
Good pressure by the Friars. Maine just having to ice the puck away to slow things down. And the Friars could take advantage. It's fatigue starting to settle in a little bit here in the second period. Seeing a couple of misconnections on some passes, a little bit of sloppiness. And another update, Vermont now 1-0 lead over Northeastern.
Well, the Huskies really struggling to start the second half of the year. They went out to Army and lost. The Northeastern about a month and a half ago, Mike, they were top 10 in the NPI, and granted very early, but they have slid now to 28 as that wrist shot handled by Sumpf. Right now, BC is the top Hockey East program at 15. Providence right behind. In fact, if the Friars win tonight, they'll leapfrog BC. And, of course, that's who Providence will play next weekend.
Again, we talked about it, a couple times last week and this week. The importance of all these games, and that loss last week against Alaska Fairbanks, MPI took a big hit for the Friars. I believe they were up to 11 at the time of that game. You can see how far they dropped down to number 16 now. But sweeping Maine this weekend, if it happens, that helps them out quite a bit. And of course, next weekend, another big series against BC to help propel them a little bit further up the ladder.
Friars were 53-93. Here's Fauchon. Nice move to the net, and he sent it in front, nobody home. Strong play, McCollum able to keep in. Now Fauchon on a loose puck and a drive, and he whipped it up over the net. Good shift by Providence off the face-off. Jurasevich will start the breakout. Here's Sully Sholey, and shot blocked to the end boards. He gets to it first, feeds it top of the circle, a backhander, and it's shoveled away by Parsons. Another broken stick out there. As McCollum, it's Sumpf, doesn't have a stick. It's going to be a hand pass.
It feels like we're going to set a record for broken sticks in this period alone. There's probably been at least 7 or 8 already.
McCollum and Fowler interacting after the whistle. Second intermission will be joined by Friar assistant Joel Beal.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what he thinks is going to be key in the third period to potentially close out this game here tonight. Friars, when they hold a lead going into the third, have been quite dominant under Nate Lehman. But again, really the number to keep an eye on is the number of goals for Providence. When they get to 3, they are nearly unbeatable.
Malinowski, offensive face-off. He'll go against Komarov. Junior against the sophomore. Friars win it. Now Centrella's drive, and that's blocked down. Hits somebody out in front. The puck deflects out of play over the glass. Face-off will stay in the main zone.
Yeah, that might have caught Will Elger in the back as he has to shake that one off. Friendly fire that time from Centrella. That's one thing the Friars could stand to do a little bit better here as this game goes on. Try to get a little bit more of a presence in front of Rousseau. Most of the shots he's been able to see pretty cleanly.
Malinowski going to take the face-off. Adams right at the top of the circle. Tanner's got the lone goal. Came short-handed earlier in the period. Malinowski toward the net to Elger, and he throws it on net. Save Rousseau. Loose puck was there, and now the Black Bears 3-man rush. Gerwa over the line. That pass behind Pichette. Comes over looking for Komarov. Providence unable to get it out of the zone. McCoy comes up the boards, and that winds up on the main bench.
A quick counterattack that time from the Black Bears, trying to catch the Friars off guard. And the Friars able to withstand the pressure once again.
Well, UConn has scored a goal to tie UMass Lowell, so they're even 1-1. Just under 10 minutes to go in period number 1. We were one of 2 of the early starts. Friars will have another early start. Last regulation game against UConn in March. It'll be a 4 o'clock start here at Schneider Arena. Levens, 1-on-2. Stops, looks for help. Kivioya right to the front of the net. Now Jelsma jamming at it. Saved by Rousseau. Friars keep the puck in. Levens. Strong play, tried to center to Kivioya. Now Clint gets it on the forehand. Levens, a wraparound, loose puck. Kivioya gets to it. Another good shift by this line. As Alexi goes down low to Jelsma. Bo in a battle there against Peterson. Back now to Kivioya as we dip inside. 2 minutes to go. Second period, Kivioya centering feed and deflected wide by Jelsma. Now Sawyer on the ice. Throws it in front, it deflects out of the zone. Manti will hustle, but Maine back over the line, and Gamache, good back check. That's something Providence, Mike, has done a lot better this weekend. on the back check there. The forwards have certainly been much better defensively in their own end.
Yeah, and that was a point of emphasis from Coach Lehman in going into this week. Said the forwards have to help out the defense. It can't just be all on the D alone back there.
McCollum shot blocked, good strong play by Sawyer to keep it in. Now Mustard right in front, and Gamash's shot goes wide. The Friars all around it here. Here's McCollum. Walks to the net, tees it up, save Rousseau, rebound. Gamache couldn't get it on net. Broken stick, but now Nadeau is going to break. Here is Nadeau, he is in, and a save with the right arm by Parsons. Josh Nadeau, best chance for Maine in the period. Mustard plays it ahead to Sump. Under a minute to go, second period. Julius throws it into the corner. There's another broken stick right in front of the Maine net. Got 4 players jamming in the corner. Maine able to work it up. Donovan McCoy, now Mustard. That shot wide down the boards. Centrella. Here comes Lipinski. Lipinski cross ice to Marcus. Bouncing puck, plays it in deep. 20 seconds to go in the period. McCoy now to Centrella. Plays it, Jonathan Fauchon. Fauchon, a shot goes over the net. Boy, he's missed the net 3 different times in this period.
I think Rousseau might have got a piece of that one with his shoulder as well.
And the horn's going to sound, and we have a good third period coming up. Friars with the lone goal of the period. Short-handed tally by Tanner Adams. Each team 0 for 1 with the man advantage. And more the type of game I think a lot of people expected, Mike, coming in here after last night.
Yeah, we figured it was going to be much tighter as both teams kind of locking it in on the defensive end. Shots have been a little bit harder to come by, but the Friars still generating more chances than the Black Bears and have earned themselves a 1-0 lead courtesy of the shorty from Tanner Adams.
We will step aside. Joel Beal will join us on the other side. You're watching Hockey East on ESPN+. Welcome back to Schneider Arena. Providence a 1-0 lead after 2. Joined downstairs by Joel Beal. Joel, your thoughts on the opening 40 minutes here tonight?
Well, we've been really good when we've gotten the puck below their goal line. I think it's been really, our ozone play has been really effective. I think we can still attack the middle more and maybe get another guy in front of the net to get some of those shots down there with screens. But I thought our forecheck and our ozone play has been really effective.
Coach, pretty clean game so far. You mentioned the good ozone time, shots on goal, 26-15 in your favor as well. What do you guys need to do to close this one out tonight?
Well, yeah, we definitely got to get to the net a little bit better. We got to try and get that insurance goal. I think discipline is going to be really important in the third period, and then they're a good rush team. So I thought we really back-checked and filled the middle well against them and reloaded hard. So as long as we continue to do that, we'll keep to the outside.
Joel, I said last night during the radio broadcast, it looked like Friar hockey. You guys are very invested in playing defense, blocking a lot of shots, and I know that was one of the messages this week in practice.
Yeah, it's just about a commitment to winning, and I think our guys have really had that commitment so far through 100 minutes. So we got to have that for the next 20 for sure. All
right, best of luck over the final 20 minutes.
Thanks, Mike.
That is Joel Beal. We'll take a break. Friars have a 1-0 lead heading to period number 3.
Left corner. Over to Gill. Here against there. Hoskin, one-timer from the inside edge of the right circle.
UConn looking for more. Tristan Fraser's in. Fraser drives it in front. Percival scores! The Connecticut kid, Jake Percival, with a quick second goal for UConn.
Stolen shot, score! And Northeastern has taken a 3-0 lead early in the second period on a turnover.
Another shot, they score! Sam Oliver, his first career NCAA goal on a sharp angle.
Circle, one-timer scored! Boston College finally breaks through, and guess who?
Providence. And Mike, as we take a look at the second period highlights, Friars made the most when shorthanded.
Yeah, and obviously a 1-0 score. Saves got to be a big part of it so far. Friars would, again, tuss Rousseau early and often. A good bit here from Manti. Blocked down by the netminder for the Black Bears. And then Jack Parsons getting called into action as well. Parsons now up to 15 saves on the night. Friars, a couple good chances shorthanded. And then the defining moment of the game to this point. Tanner Adams taking it nearly coast to coast on the breakaway. The first shorthanded goal of the season for Providence. 5th overall goal of the year for Tanner Adams. Making no mistake in burying that one past Rousseau. Now, Friars would generate some good quality chances the rest of the way. That one from Mustard, this one from Mustard as well. But back-to-back saves from Rousseau kept it at just a 1-goal margin. Providence would get close with that energy line again. Bo Jelsma trying to jam it home. But Rousseau shutting the door. Take a look at the numbers through 2 periods. And again, it's been fairly one-sided when it comes to the shots on goal. And the Friars with the slight advantage through 2 periods on the face-offs.
That was the first Providence shorthanded goal since Graham Gamache scored against Merrimack last February 28th. At some point during the third, we'll get you caught up on Hockey East scores. Everything is tight. There are 3 1-0 leads. Vermont has one of them. UMass has another. Providence the third. And then there's a 1-1 score between UConn and UMass Lowell. Third period underway. See if Providence was the better team to start the first period. Maine the better team to start the second. Friars have been a good third period team scoring goals, and there's a break for the Friars as Komarov looked like he was going to head on net.
Yeah, just a bit offside that time. Komarov coming off with some speed down that left wing side, and Maine unable to stay on. And take a look there as the scores you mentioned. The other game, Merrimack, a 3-1 lead over Holy Cross. But again, keep an eye on that UMass game. Again, they're trying to pull the upset over Boston University. And UConn, UMass Lowell. If UMass Lowell can get it done again, that'll be a huge boost for the Riverhawks. And it would help out the Friars as well.
Well, if the BU score holds up and this score holds up, Friars and the Terriers will be tied for third, and Providence would have 3 games in hand. And now the Black Bears break, but Sholey had a broken stick and a save there on Fowler by Parsons. Break for Providence, though, Mike, as Sholey broke his stick right at center ice.
Yeah, and I think Maine was potentially looking for a penalty in that situation. A lot of times you see a slash is what leads to that broken stick. Take another look at the opportunity here. Parsons does well to hold on to that rebound and, more importantly, squeeze those pads. Not allowing a trickler through at this juncture in the game. Can't afford to give off the softie. Gives Parsons 16 saves now on the night. Last night, 26 saves while allowing just the 1 goal.
Well, to this point, he certainly has exceeded expectation. Good stick along the wall by Logan Sawyer. And Nate Lehman talked about, as that puck deflects out of play, when we talked to him on Monday, or Tuesday rather, during the radio show, he had said that going into the Alaska weekend, he had told his forwards, you know, you're going to have to really support the D. And, you know, he made a point on Monday. He actually showed them on film what he was talking about. And I'll tell you, this weekend, Mike, the forwards on the ice have really had defense first on mind.
Yeah, I think you'd have to say message received by that group as they have come up in a big way. 8 blocks tonight for the Friars after a good performance last night in terms of helping out the netminder Parsons.
That's 31 blocks on the weekend. Friars win the face-off, push it out of the zone. Mustard unable to get to it, so Bales will retreat in his own end. Friars move it up, but that's deflected off of Black Bear and out of play. So we'll do it again. That went off Thomas Friel.
Again, Friars got to make sure they keep their focus here in the third period. As you know, Maine's going to be continuing to pour it on as much as they possibly can.
Two teams will play for a third and final time on the 31st of January up at the Alfond Arena. New look Alfond Arena. Looking forward to making the trip up. I remember the Alfond Arena before they had seats on the side, the original arena where the luxury boxes are now. That was the press box. It's a tough place to play now, but it was even tougher in the old days.
The true home ice advantage back then.
Still the best atmosphere, not only in Hockey East, but I would say in the East. Fauchon lost a glove, fought through a Maine player lost a glove. Fauchon unable to move with it is Centrella. Nice job using the end boards. McCoy, Sump, moves it out of the zone. Fauchon against Jerwa. Those guys played in the CHL last year. Here's Sump, takes it wide. Julius centering feed, and it's deflected over the net by Fauchon. He's been around it tonight, but he's had a lot of pucks, missed the mark.
Yeah, but again, the presence of the Fauchon McQueen Sumpf line has been tremendous all weekend long. A nice little adjustment by Coach Lehman and his staff heading into this series.
Rousseau, he's behind his net. Usero, now to Langlois. Usero will come to the bench. Jurasevich will replace him. Mention the Black Bears have a pair on the road next weekend at UMass Lowell. Next Friday night, and we get a whistle. Not exactly sure what happened.
Yeah, not sure. Did not look to be icing. Didn't look to be offside either, but.
Providence penalty, too many men on the ice.
Too many men on the ice for the Friars is a call. Nate Lehman is apoplectic on the bench there. Saying, what are you talking about? But it'll be the second power play chance of the night for Maine.
So I want to get a look at this. It'll be a bench minor. So let's see if we can count the Friars.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't see a 6 there, Mike.
Yes, they're out of the picture.
And they weren't going for a change either, so. Looks like Logan Sawyer will glide on over to the penalty box to serve this one for Providence, but a huge opportunity given now to the Black Bears here on just maybe a mental error by the Friars.
Couple of 14s on the face-off. Sholey against Kivioya. And the puck buried there, pushed to the wall by the Black Bears. They keep it in. Holt right in front, pushed away from Sholey by Parsons, and the puck hammered all the way down.
Friars very lucky there. Sholey a great opportunity right in front, but Parsons able to get a piece of it.
Holt will drop to Sholey. Now Nadeau back to Sholey, enters the zone. Friel down low, Nadeau right out in front, shot deflected as Poirier had a good opportunity, but a deflection, and that one goes over the net. Bouncing puck, Gamache plays it ahead, and the Friars send it all the way down.
Yeah, it was Graham Gamache who had the deflection, got it with his stick to knock it away from Parsons' net.
Here's Poirier trying to split the D, gets knocked down to the corner. Friars lost a stick, that's Bales. Fed down into the corner, Tanner Adams, Donovan McCoy, Bales. Nice awareness by Providence, and Adams sends it all the way down.
Good decision making there in the back behind the net. McCoy working, this nifty little pass, and the Friars able to clear it all the way back down to the other end and switch up their kill.
It's a nice use of patience. A lot of times you'll see guys under siege make the wrong play as Russell enters the zone. Marcus centering feed, and the one-timer wide by Scott. Half minute to go on the too many men in the ice penalty against Providence. Kivioya knocks the Black Bear down. Puck comes free, and Providence clears.
Again, a chance to swap out their penalty killers. Really good job. You talk about McCoy and some of the other D. You know, Coach Lehman very high on his freshman defensive core. Said, you know, yeah, they had a letdown against Alaska last week, but overall in the season's been very pleased.
Russell trying to send it in front. Jurasevich. Penalty is up. 5-on-5 again. Out of the box comes Logan Sawyer. So the Friars dodge a major bullet, but Maine still with zone time. Russell works free of a check. Gotta like Charlie Russell's game. Plays hard, elusive, and inadvertently fed back to the point. Peterson, he zigged when his teammate thought he was going to zag, and the puck back into the Maine zone. Friars strong on the forecheck, steal by Sawyer. Sawyer with McQueen and Sumpf. Penalty against Maine, and Providence going to get its second power play. Going to be a slash against Jurasevich. And boy, could the Friars use one here.
Yeah, this would be the big moment here for Providence.
Maine penalty number
Jurasevich,
44,
one
2
of
minutes
the
for slashing.
better defenseman in the league, leads the team in block shots. 44 coming into tonight. He's going to have to sit out for the next 2 minutes for the slash. And the Providence power play unit that was electric last night. Huge moment here if they could take advantage of it.
On the replay, you see Logan Sawyer certainly trying to sell it. And immediately turned his hands palm up, saying, where's the call? So second power play tonight for Providence. Coming in, they had scored power play goals in 14 of their first 19 games. 18 power play goals on the year. That leads every Hockey East team overall. But Maine, good job to collapse. And they break back shorthanded. Here's Fowler. Mustard on him. Fowler to the front of the net. Save Parsons. Remember that one as we get players jammed up after the whistle.
Yeah, Parsons again, he's not been tested a ton tonight. That's only 18 shots on goal now for Maine, but when he has been tested, he's been good. And Friars got to be careful. Can't keep allowing these shorthanded opportunities. Good acceleration there, turning the corner. Owen Fowler get around that last Friar.
These are the games where your power play, you need to score on situations like this. Chance to extend the lead. Mike, you're at home. It's an important league game. It's the Saturday night. You could get one here, so Adams will slide in to take the face-off against Fowler. Tanner is the only goal in the game, came shorthanded. Bales and McCoy assisting the first shorthanded goal of the year by Providence as McCollum drops to McQueen with speed. Now to Mustard. Lost the puck along the wall. And the Black Bears clear it out. That's a break. Hit somebody on the main bench. Face-off will stay in the zone.
Yeah, otherwise would have been a pretty good clearance there for the Black Bears as a little bit of a miscommunication between McQueen and Mustard down that left wing side. Couldn't break in cleanly, but they do get the benefit of that puck into the bench. This time it looks like it'll be Malinowski on the draw for the Friars against Max Scott, one of the better face-off men in the league. 241 face-off wins coming into today. #1 in Hockey East, a transfer from Brown.
Malinowski and Fauchon both scored on the power play last night. And Hudson's going to get waved out, so Julius Sumpf come in and take it. And Providence will win it. Look to set up Centrella. Down the wall, gets it back. They go down to Sumpf now, Elger. To Sumpf right in front, backhander, and a save by Rousseau. And the puck sent all the way down.
That's too bad for the Friars there. Rebound was loose for a moment. Malinowski just couldn't get to it.
6 minutes into the third period. Minute remaining on this Providence power play. They'll work it around Malinowski. Hudson. Now to Sumpf. Coming over to Fauchon. Russell. Good job to force the puck up but not out. Kept in by Centrella. Goes now to Sumpf. Julius was trying to get some space. Maine really overplaying now. Malinowski, Fauchon, back to Malinowski and Sumpf. Friars being kept on the perimeter. Elger tries to go back to Centrella, and Maine will get it and clear. 20 seconds remaining on the power play. Malinowski over the line, a shot. Rousseau the save, dives to cover.
And Rousseau making that one a little bit more complicated than it needed to be. Left that rebound out, had to basically belly flop on top of it to freeze the puck. But the Friars down to just 17 seconds remaining in the power play. Look here, nice little dish off from Malinowski. A quick shot handled by Rousseau, but a lively bounce off of him. Forced him out of the paint, cover up.
Queen on the face-off. McCollum, Manti back at the points. And the Black Bears, important face-off win. They send it all the way down. So, looks like each team's going to go 0 for 2 on the man advantage. McCollum. Comes Manti. Quinn leaves it on the wall. Now Sawyer. Penalty is up. Shot comes across. And the Black Bears back the other way. Slid in by Friel. Well, remember that opportunity for both teams. Each going 0 for 1 on the power play in this third period. Twelve and a half minutes remaining in the third. Here's Levens with speed. Pass a little too far for McQueen. Bales comes to Machu. And Levens will deflect in. Kivioya and Jelsma will join him out there. And here's a steal. Kivioya to the net. Score! Oh, a costly turnover by the Black Bears. Alexei Kivioya says thank you very much. Second of the year for the big man. 2-0 Friars.
Well, when it comes to turnovers, it doesn't get much worse than this for Maine. It's an errant pass right to Kivioya, who jumped the passing lane, finishes with a sweet little backhand, and gives the Friars that insurance goal that they were looking for.
Unassisted goal for Alexei's, up to 10 points. And that's a big one, Mike. You don't score in the power play, but able to make it 2-0 with 12 minutes remaining.
And the Black Bears again came in as the #1 scoring team in Hockey East. They've been limited to just 1 goal so far through almost 5.5 periods now.
That puck thrown toward the Black Bear net. Rousseau will cover with Gamache there. We will step aside. Alexei Kivioya with some insurance here in the third. Friars a 2-0 lead thanks to the Alexei Kivioya goal on a bad turnover by Maine. You'll see it here as Peterson flips it ahead. Kivioya read it, and this is a beautiful little backhander, Mike, to find the back of the net.
Yeah, and I think you got to give a little bit of credit there to Clint Levens as well. I think he almost screened. He couldn't see Kivioya coming through, could Peterson. And when Kivioya slipped right through, and able to finish, and just nice composure from Alexei there. Not an easy play to finish off, as he was able to knock it over the right shoulder of Matis Rousseau.
Friars trying to move above 500 at home. Face-off win, but Maine will work it out. Gerwa. Friars have 6 of their 10 wins on the road. And now Providence, little running room here for Sumpf. Good puck support by Gamache. 7:56, time of the Kivioya goal. Lipinski in deep, McCollum slides it around the boards, coming down, Usero keeps it in for Maine. Knocked around, Sumpf goes in the corner, and now McCollum inadvertently puts it up over the glass. Face-off will stay in the Friar end.
Certainly will, 11-13, so still plenty of time for Maine to get back in this one. However, the chances haven't really been there a lot for the Black Bears tonight. Came into this period with just 15 shots on goal, just 3 so far in the third frame, as the Friars defense has been on point, really limiting the chances.
UMass 1-0 lead, 8 minutes to go at BU. Early second, UMass Lowell and UConn 1-1. Early second, Vermont 1-0 on Northeastern. Fires a block shot, able to clear.
Yeah, Sumpf with the 12th block of the night for the Friars.
That's what, 35 on the weekend now for Providence. Levens unable to move that puck out cleanly, turning a shot blocked. So there's another one, and McCollum will slide it ahead. Jelsma and Levens on the forecheck. Chabrier, headman's tip deep by Max Scott. 10.5 to go in this third period. Maine came in unbeaten in 5, coming off a win and a tie out at Denver. Top 10 team in the NPI. Flyers a 6-1 win last night, thanks to 3 power play goals tonight. They have a shorthanded goal and an unassisted goal as that puck ends up over the glass and out of play.
Friars giving away a couple souvenirs here in the third period. I believe that's the third or fourth one they put over the glass. And the Friars will have that face-off come back into their zone, however. Face-offs have been in favor of the Friars. Small margin right now. They're +1 on the dots, 25-24.
Now, back when the schedule came out, Mike, you looked at January and you said, boy, after that Alaska weekend, that is going to be tough sledding. 4 straight weeks, 2 with Maine, 2 with BC, 2 with BU, 1 more with Maine. But if the Friars can hold on here, they would start that 7-game stretch at 2-0. Sholey back to the point, shot redirected wide. Adams will just chip it ahead, and Elger is going to get to the red line. He's going to play it in deep. Malinowski pushing it into the corner. Langlois slid ahead, and Maine up the ice. Here's Charlie Russell. Blows a tire as he enters the zone. Doesn't give up on the puck, though. Nor do the Friars as Machu able to take it away, and then he lost it. Luckily got it right back as Fowler couldn't do anything with it.
Yeah, Friars got to make sure they stay sharp here and keep things simple. Don't want to overcomplicate anything, especially in their own zone.
Offensive end here, Adams. He will spin it into the corner. Komarov comes up the boards. Maine able to break out. Chabrier, but Sumpf is there. Machu with some room as we're inside 9 minutes to go. Here's a steal, Poirier, but Malinowski able to get the stick in there, and we'll just golf it to the neutral zone. Certainly this is as good defensively as Providence has looked in back-to-back games this year.
Yeah, again, coming off what was one of their, I'd say, worst performances of the season against Alaska last weekend. Certainly looks like the messages have been well received, and they've put in the work this week heading into this series. Now they just got to close it out for the final 8 minutes.
Good play by Sumpf at the end of the shift just to get the puck deep. Now Maine back over the line. Komarov walking to the net. Poirier, and a save by Parsons. They say no goal as Parsons got pushed back into the net. So here's a look at a near miss by Maine, but we head to break. Score remains Providence 2 and Maine nothing in the third period. Well, it's 2-0 Providence, just over 8 minutes remaining in regulation. There's a look at the Hockey East standings. As I mentioned, Friars hold on, and if UMass holds on, Friars and the Terriers will each be tied for third, but Providence, Mike, will have 3 games in hand, and they'll still have 3 games in hand on the Black Bears and be 4 up and have won the season series.
Yeah, and they've got 2 games with BU coming up as well in a couple of weeks. So, again, the Friars still control very much a lot of their destiny here for the remainder of the season. And so far, a good showing this weekend is putting them in a much better spot than they found themselves at the beginning of the week.
That's a great example there. Face-off win thanks to the wingers. Mustard got his stick in there. So we're inside 8 minutes remaining. Gamache. Now Mustard, quick shot, nice save, Rousseau. Back to the point, McCollum. Feeds it deep. Peterson up the boards and out. 3-man rush for Maine, 3-on-2. Forced wide, pass in front, just out of the reach of Lipinski and Providence with numbers up ice. 4-man rush. In the middle, glove save Rousseau on Mustard.
Yeah, Rousseau really able to focus on that one. Mustard coming with a lot of pace, trying to seek it through with the wrister, but on the other end, it was John Mustard coming all the way back, tracking back on the back check to take one of the Black Bears out of the equation. The pass wound up being behind, the other one the high slot, and the Friars able to turn it up ice quickly.
31 shots for Providence, 19 for Maine. And we'll do it again. Kivioya, unassisted goal in this period after Tanner Adams. Got Providence's first shorthanded goal of the year in the second. Each team 0 for 2 with the man advantage. Each with a power play in this period. Jelsma now to Kivioya. Alexi able to come free. Back now Machu. Shot wide of the net. Fowler will flip it center ice. Good back check by Levens. Gets taken down. Penalty against Russell in Maine. And Providence going to go on the power play with a chance to salt this away if they can get one here.
An inopportune time for Russell to take that penalty there, as he's still a little bit fired up. Friars, I'm sure, letting him have it verbally as well. But as you said, a golden opportunity now for Providence to put the final nail perhaps in the Black Bear coffin tonight with about 7 minutes to play.
Of course, Charlie, as a kid, spent a lot of time on this ice when his father, Jamie, was an assistant. Remember Jamie telling the story, Mike?
Maine number 11 has a 2-minute minor for tripping and a
penalty.
2-minute minor for unsportsmanlike conduct.
Oh, and a misconduct penalty as well. So Russell will be in the box pretty much for the remainder of the game. Good job by Levens on the back check. Boy, Clint really hit the ice pretty hard there with the head.
Yeah, he certainly did. It was unexpected. You know, he wasn't expecting that stick coming across his body and kind of the leverage knocking him down to the ice. And I think that's why he saw Bales coming in to just support Levens there for what he felt was, you know, kind of nasty little play. But the Friars will gladly take the double minor here. 4 minutes on the board for Russell. So a huge chance for the Friars to put this one away.
So double minor. I thought it was a misconduct. My mistake. But 4-minute power play under 7 minutes remaining in regulation. And the Friars with a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, they wound up giving 2 minutes for tripping and then the 2 minutes for unsportsmanlike conduct.
Maine gets the puck. They'll send it all the way down. You know, if you're Providence, you don't have the sense of urgency, but still, you could use another one here.
Yeah, extra goals never hurt.
Some offensive end, nice move by Julius. Now Providence will set up Fauchon, Sumpf. Fauchon comes now, Centrella. Down low on the bumper to Mustard, couldn't handle it. Elger, and that puck's gonna leak out to the neutral zone. Centrella, as we approach 6 minutes remaining. Sumpf will curl it back. Now goes Malinowski, good job by Hudson along the boards, but it is pushed back out. 2:50 remaining on this power play for Providence, and it is sent all the way down.
It's been a very aggressive kill here out of the Maine Black Bears, really not allowing the Friars to get anything set up in the offensive zone.
Sawyer, cross ice, here's McQueen. Roger got 7 points in his last 4 games. And McCollum unable to keep in. There's not sharp here on the man advantage with 5:20 remaining in this game. Sawyer. Logan, offensive end, takes it wide. Still looking around the world, comes to McCollum. Back to Sawyer. Fed it down low, looking back door for Mustard. Now they come across Sawyer. In the bumper now, Gamache. His shot blocked. Sawyer jammed at it. Gamache in the corner, feeds the point. McCollum comes across. Here's Mustard to the net. Shot wide to the short side. Minute 48 remaining on the power play. 4:44 remaining in regulation. 2-0 Providence.
Couple good chances there for John Mustard, not missing by much on that last shot, as the Friars were able to get a little bit of traffic in front of Rousseau.
Well, and you have to expect, if Providence doesn't score here when the power play ends, I would think Maine's going to go with an extra attacker down a pair of goals.
Yeah, absolutely, because that'll give them about 3 minutes left in the period.
And Maine, great job on the kill all the way down. So approaching 4 minutes remaining in the third and just over a minute on this power play for Providence. Malinowski over the line. Elger a drive, a glove save deflecting up and into the netting as Rousseau got a piece.
Oh, not sure if that caught a piece of the crossbar as well off of his glove, but Rousseau just enough to keep this one at still just a manageable 2-goal deficit. Great bid there from Elger.
Yep. Yeah, I think it went glove, crossbar, net.
So 3:57, still about a minute left in the double minor penalty to Charlie Russell. Friars trying to capitalize.
So Sumpf against Max Scott. Sumpf wins it. Fauchon now to Centrella. Andrew comes to Elger. Centrella, one-timer, score! There's your exclamation point. It was redirected in front. Power play goal, 3-0 Providence.
And that's exactly what the doctor ordered for Providence. Centrella's had some really good shots from out high on the power play this weekend. I'm not sure who will get credit for the final goal there, but either way, he was a big part of it.
Well, it certainly looked to the naked eye that that puck changed direction. And do we just give Jack Parsons goalie of the week now or what?
I mean, if they wind up holding on for the shutout, you allow just 1 goal against the top scoring team in the league. I don't know how you don't give it to them.
So a big power play goal. That is now power play goals in 15 of their 20 games this year. 19th power play goal of the year. And a 3-0 lead with 3:35 remaining in the game.
That sends a lot of the Maine fans here packing. Again, they bring a big contingency to everywhere they go. But I think they've seen enough this weekend and don't want to return to Schneider anytime soon.
And again, the teams will play on the final day of January up at the Alfond Arena, and that's offside against the Black Bears. And that'll take us to our final break. Andrew Centrella, power play goal. Friars have scored twice in the third to lead it 3-0. Goal 16-11, Centrella from Elger and Fauchon. So Providence has a shorty tonight. They have a power play goal and an even strength unassisted goal and a 3-0 lead.
And now we'll see if Ben Barr elects to pull the goalie. They'll have a chance at the empty netter. See how aggressive they want to get here, down 3-0 with 3:15. Do or die time really for the Black Bears, but is it worth the risk at this point is the question for Maine.
Well, and on the flip side, this is the 42nd time since the league went to 3 points, and I didn't count the COVID year, but the 42nd opportunity that Providence College has had at a 6-point weekend. Coming into this game, Mike, they were 3-38, and they were 0-15 when they won the Friday night game, but they are 3-15 away from a big-time 6-point weekend.
Yeah, and again, it'll be their first weekend sweep of the season and their first double victories over the same opponent this year as well.
And it'll be 5 of their last 6 as far as wins go.
There goes Rousseau to the bench. So goalie pulled for Maine. Friars a chance for the empty netter.
Providence, they just got to get the puck out of the zone. They failed at that. And now Jurasevich can't keep it in. 2:40 remaining. And how big is that Centrella goal now?
Well, you go back to that Kivioya one as well. The bad turnover by Maine when they were just down 1-0. And Kivioya made them pay.
That shot goes wide. Jurasevich out high. Langlois down low. Good stick. McCollum chips it to the boards. Gamache behind the net, wrapped around. Jurasevich can't keep in. Here's Logan Sawyer against Langlois. We're down to 2:11 to go. Friars with 2 insurance goals in the third. Kivioya unassisted. And then Centrella on the power play as Russell throws it right in front. Loose puck. Jammed in behind the net. Bales comes around. Kept in by Maine. 1:45 remaining. And Providence clears. And that's great because it's not going to go for icing. Well, plenty of questions about goaltending with Phillips Fedback, the senior, being injured last Saturday night in that disappointing loss to Alaska. But for this weekend, freshman Jack Parsons has come up huge.
Yeah, and if you would have told the Friars that was Fedback going down, top scoring team in Hockey East coming to your building for a 2-game set, and you'd outscore them 9-1, I don't know how many people would have taken that bet.
Yep, now Fowler, offensive end with 1 minute remaining. A one-timer is blocked to the boards. Langlois in deep. Now goes to Fowler. That shot blocked out of play. And Elger's hurt. That shot, he's had a tough weekend. He took the knee last night on the penalty. And it looks like he got a piece of his right hand on that shot block.
And again, he's put in a gutsy performance this weekend. And, you know, the Friars, as we've talked about a couple times already, you know, the willingness to give up the body this weekend. The block shots now up to 14 for tonight. Yeah, those are the ones from last night, and it's been a good, successful weekend when it comes to that department. Now all they got to do, they got to get Parsons the shutout here, Mike. He has deserved it, stepping in a tough moment for the Friars.
Important face-off here as Max Scott wins it, comes to the boards. Now Langlois across, a one-timer is wide. 46 seconds remaining. Now in the slot, Scott's shot blocked. Jurasevich tied up along the wall, and the Friars get it out of the zone. Down to half a minute to go as Langlois has it in front of his empty net. Chipped in, Manti on it. He'll hammer it around. Maine will keep in at the point. Comes to the near side, and McQueen unable to clear. Approaching 10 seconds to go. Friars will clear it. That will miss the empty net. That'll be an icing with 5.8 seconds to go.
Not missing by much from that range, but it will give Maine one last chance here to at least get a goal on the board. The face-off deep in Friar territory.
Who else but Roger McQueen to take it? It'll be McQueen against Scott.
McQueen, a rough night on the dots, just 3 of 9.
As we await the puck drop. Puck is down. Providence will work it to the boards. 2-1. That'll do it. Give Jack Parsons a hug as they come off the bench and grab the puck. First collegiate shutout for Jack. A 6-point weekend for Providence. Much needed, thanks to the freshman who gave up just 1 goal on 46 shots on the weekend.
And that goal was a 5-on-3 power play goal for Maine. So Parsons really standing tall in between the pipes this weekend for the Friars. They get a hard-earned 6 points against a very good Maine team. And now next up for them, well, just the Boston College Eagles.
So at last check, BU is still down 1-0 to UMass. It is final. UMass has defeated BU, so with the win, the Friars come out of the weekend in a tie with BU for third. And Mike, the Friars, if they ever needed a weekend like this, this is when it was needed.
Yeah, and it wasn't looking likely after what we saw last weekend against Alaska, but Coach Lehman and his staff able to rally the troops, get everybody moving in the right direction once again. They're kind of finding that form, which they ended 2025 with. And what a time it is to find that form again.
So that is going to do it. The Friars with a 3-0 win. Big thank you to Chris Judge, Justin DiCristofaro, Amanda Martins, Ronan Kulsa, Justin Blaze, and our entire Providence College production crew. For Mike Mancuso, this is Mike Logan. The Friars sweep the Black Bears 6-1 last night, 3-0 tonight. Thanks for watching ESPN+.